Coming up on today's Next Fan Up podcast, this is the NFL analysis you've come to expect.
This will be the game where Odell Beckham Jr. does something weird with a piece of equipment on the sideline.
Yeah, they need to stop giving the ball away like Girl Scout cookies.
What was wrong with Cedric Redwine? Was he corked? No, that's got Lance Armstrong written all over it.
But
You did twice compliment us on our intelligence, so clearly Kevin's having an effect.
there's no Kevin today. It's week 4 in the NFL. Here we go.
That's how we start! Yeah, baby!
32 SuperFans.
Where do the reports come from? Did you get an initial?
One PodVader.
That's football.
Every angle of the NFL covered.
All that kind of stuff, I get it.
This
No question about it.
is Next Fan Up.
We're going to unleash hell here in December.
Hello and welcome to the Who's for Real, Who's Not for Real edition of the Next Fan Up podcast. Hey everybody, PodVader here. I ask that because for the first time in what seems like forever, the NFL parody has really gone to poop. We've got, 8 teams that are undefeated currently in the NFL and 7 that are completely defeated. Meaning they haven't won a game yet. Let's see here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we count the Lions, who had a tie. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defeateds if we count the Arizona Cardinals, who also have a tie. It's an interesting time to be an NFL fan, and we're going to go over that in just a moment with these super fans who join me. And as always, we will start across the pond in Scotland. Today, the map is showing me Stonehaven. It is our Redskins fan, Neil. Hello, Neil.
Hey, Jay. Hey, guys. Stonehaven, that's about right. About 7 miles away from Stonehaven. But does that make this a boring season then, Jay, do you think? All these clearly defined good teams and bad teams?
I think it does a little bit. I'm just not feeling it this year. By the way, in our top 10 cities, no city from the UK this week. It's very disheartening.
I'll write the UK a strongly worded letter.
That'd be great. Toronto is our number 1 city. Hello, Toronto. We can't walk the streets in Toronto. Just like James can't walk the streets of Atlanta. He is our Philadelphia Eagles superfan. Hello, James.
Hey, Pod. Hey, Neil. Interesting Thursday night game and goings on in football right now, especially with some kicking situations in certain teams, notably Tampa Bay and Carly Lloyd.
Is that where Carly Lloyd is currently rumored to be heading?
Well, someone put an ad out for secret deodorant about the kicking woes, and it features Carly Lloyd on it. It says, "Hey, Bucks, do you sweat 34-yarders? Carly Lloyd doesn't."
Oh, nice. Yeah, very good.
I know Matt, our Bucks superfan, is very much behind Mr. Gay, the kicker there. I don't know his first name.
So it's the head coach.
Matt. Is it Matt Gay?
Might be. It sounds about right. By the way, I apologize to the United Kingdom. No need for that letter, Neil. Manchester. They love us there. They love us there. Excellent. In Manchester.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, the reason that James can't walk the streets of Atlanta, is that because of the wanted signs, or?
Wow, really, Neil?
NFU Podcast is the Twitter. You can send us an email, nextfanup@gmail.com, especially if you're in Manchester, or maybe you're in Quezon City in the Philippines, Toronto. Love to hear from you. Facebook.com/NFU Podcast, a great way to keep in touch with us. Let's talk a little bit about these undefeateds and defeated teams and just how boring this season is, because I was a guest recently on a radio show in Virginia Beach. Hello, Virginia Beach. And I was asked, is it unfair to put the Chiefs and the Patriots as the 2 top teams in the AFC? And I said, no, it's not unfair at all. I don't see any other team, especially in the AFC, competing with that. And even in the NFC, the great things that Dallas has been doing so far this season and the LA Rams, perhaps, I don't see those two teams coming close to the Chiefs and the Patriots in terms of
all right.
the teams are performing this season.
All right, who was this tube? Is talking about whether it's fair or not. I mean, what's that all about? What does that mean, fair? Life's not fair. Get on with it. Jesus.
So, well, Neil, how would you re-ask that question then? How would you repropose that you look at that particular question? Are there any teams that can compete with the Chiefs and the Patriots? If not, should they continue watching the NFL this season?
Yeah. How many games have we played so far? Is it 3, 4?
3.
Just 3.
And I believe last year you'll find that I think it was 7 teams at this stage of the season were 1 and 2, and they went on to make the playoffs. So it's way too early. You can't make any decisions. I mean, look at, for example, New Orleans, for example. Yeah, they were one of the top teams at the start of the season. Lose Drew Brees, and boom, their status drops in rankings. It's way too early. Mahomes and Brady could go down this Sunday. I mean, touch wood, hopefully the guys don't. They could both be injured, and that could be pretty much the end of the season, and things can change. That's the beauty of the NFL. Keep watching because you never know what's going to happen.
All right. How about you, James?
Yeah, I have to agree with Neil. It's a week-to-week sport for a reason. The way a team plays week to week is always highly scrutinized and often over-exaggerated. You know, week 1, we were already touting like half the league as Super Bowl contenders. Are they really for real or just an anomaly? And then some of those teams that won week 1 got shellacked in week 2. So, I don't put a lot of stock into, what's what. I mean, yeah, the consistent teams that constantly play well year in and year out, no matter what their schedule looks like, which recently the Chiefs and historically the Patriots, the Saints, the Rams of late, even Dallas. Yeah, those teams will play well. These are teams that pretty much you can pencil in minimum 10 wins, each season over the last 3 years or so. So, I mean, as far as other teams being contenders or pretenders at this point, I'd say wait to the midway point before we get there.
I mean, look, for example, Jay, look at your New England Patriots. You've played 3 games, you've won them all, you've averaged giving up about 5 points or something, 6 points a game against 3 teams who are yet to win a game. And so what can you really take from that other than New England have beaten the teams who have been put in front of them? And this you could look at some similar scenarios for probably all the teams who are 0-3 and all the teams who are 3-0. It's too early yet. You've got to, like James says, wait till mid-season to see how things are really panning out.
There are still trends that are evolving, though, at this particular point. I mean, the quarter poll is this week. After this week, we'll have played a quarter of the football season. Small sample size.
Well, I could give you some advice of where to stick that poll.
I think I'll pass on your advice, Neil. All right.
What do you think, Jay? But what do you think? I mean, do you think do you think we might as well shut down the AFC because it's going to be the Patriots and the Chiefs in the championship game? Is it just
unless I start seeing some market improvement from some of these teams? I'm watching horrible football. Is what's going on here.
Well,
I'm watching the Chiefs. I'm watching
the
Chiefs light it up on offense, but their defense is pathetic. I watch my team doing great things on defense, but as you mentioned, against 3 teams that they should be doing phenomenal against, because none of those 3 teams have a win at this particular point. It's just bad football.
The Chiefs' defense is not pathetic. They're plus 37 as far as points for and against. They're playing better than they were last year. They're not in shootouts every week. Yeah, last week they played Baltimore, but Baltimore, we all believe, is a very good football team. So that notwithstanding, like the Patriots, they're beating the teams they're supposed to be beating. The problem with the Patriots' schedule is that the 3 teams they played aren't worth squat this year. And that was even when Ben Roethlisberger was healthy in Pittsburgh.
But even in previous years, we haven't seen football this bad. I mean,
yeah, but football this bad is not so much have to do with the play on the field. The play on the field is fine. The problem is the officiating and all the holding calls we've gotten. The pace of the game over the first couple of weeks has seemed extremely slow because every other play, a referee is throwing a flag for holding, and you're looking for it, and you're trying to figure out where the hell is the call. I mean, honestly, let's be real. If it wasn't for Tom Brady tweeting last Thursday night during Jags-Titans, Sunday would have been just as bad as the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to your guys' point, 4 teams that missed the postseason last year, the Bills, Lions, Packers, and Niners, are all undefeated through the first 3 weeks of this season. 2019 marks the 4th time that at least 4 teams have started the season undefeated through their first 3 games after missing the postseason the previous year since 1990, when the current playoff format was instituted. This was once done before in 2013, 2003, and 2002. So good for them. But out of those 3 teams, of those 3 undefeated teams, I really only see one real contender, and maybe the Packers and the 49ers. I mean, honestly, the 49ers getting it done with their defense, but their offense, admittedly, Mr. Garoppolo, is just turning the ball over way too often. If the 49ers could clean up things on offense, fix those mistakes, stop turning the ball over, they could actually be a fairly powerful contender.
Yeah, they need to stop giving the ball away like Girl Scout cookies.
There you go.
Can I also just add one other thing into this
By the
conversation?
way, the Girl Scouts don't give those things away anymore. Those things are expensive.
I'll just add one more thing, Jay. I think what you find at the start of the season as well is you're looking at teams who are relatively, reasonably unscathed when it comes to injuries. You know, you're looking at teams who are pretty much, most teams are playing at the strongest they'll be all year. And I think you see a slightly more even playing field, or maybe some teams surprising. But then once injuries start setting in and you're playing backups, you tend to find that the really good teams have squad depth far greater than other teams, and it will start to even itself out. So teams that we know are good, like the Eagles and then the Patriots, you guys teams, they will start to win games that maybe they didn't look like winning in the first couple of weeks, because the squads, the rosters are just that little bit deeper and more mature than a lot of these upstart teams, if you like the 49ers.
Speaking of which, you know, we had 20 teams last week start a quarterback who was 26 years old or younger. Future of the NFL appears to be here already. That means, just the quick math, that means there were only 12 teams that had quarterbacks older than 27. What did we think of the quarterback play that we saw last week? Because quite honestly, I'm also looking at stats that show that the young quarterbacks are doing quite well. But if everybody's good, doesn't that mean everybody really isn't as good as you might think?
I'll start by saying that on a case-by-case basis, obviously some quarterbacks look a lot better than others. There's some who probably just need a little bit more help, need some coaching up, probably need their head coaches to not calling draw plays on 4th and 9. But for the most part, they're performing within the framework of the offense that's designed around them. There may be a shortage of experience or talent around them, but those two things are not necessarily their own fault. I will say 2 quarterbacks in a division that I'm pretty much going to keep an eye out for the rest of the year, Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson in the AFC South, because these 2 are clearly lighting it up, especially Brissett, who a lot of pundits probably wrote off the Colts after Andrew Luck retired, like, well, if Brissett can just get them to 6 to 8 wins, they'll be okay, or maybe they just want to tank. No, the Colts are a legit playoff threat at this point. So as far as these young guns coming up, patience. They'll get there.
And let me highlight this. So through the first 3 weeks of this 100th season, the NFL making a big deal about this 100th season. They seem pretty happy about the youth in this 100th season. 11 quarterbacks have a passer rating of 100 or higher with a minimum of 20 attempts. That's the most through 3 weeks in the NFL. That list of quarterbacks includes 2 rookies, Daniel Jones and Gardner Minshew, along with 2 second-year quarterbacks, Kyle Allen and Lamar Jackson. In total, 6 quarterbacks under the age of 25 and 8 under the age of 30 have a passer rating of 100 or higher through the first 3 weeks. And if we include a few older ones through 3 weeks, 11 of 32 NFL teams have rookies leading or tied for their